I always start off by telling you I'm a small man, 5'2.5", and as you can see, I have round, big, gross features. I have a big fat belly. Let's begin right there. But I'm telling you, what I found out is no man can ever represent me better than I can represent myself. Nobody can do that. Don't make the mistake of thinking somebody else can represent you better than you can represent yourself. In a day-to-day occurrence we're talking about, not a legal problem, something that requires professional intervention. That's different. But in your day-and-day trials and travails, you can and you must represent yourself. There's no way to get around that. Verbal judo. But you can only do that if you're in tremendous physical shape. You're not going to do it if you're weak and puny and pursy. If you're a short man, you must develop the power in your grip. That comes first. Your grip, your brute strength, push and pull things, brute strength, to be able to move things out of position. No matter how heavy they are, move them out of position. Take the balance of the bigger man. You do that by practicing and practicing and practicing, driving good iron. It has to be a religion, a way of life, or you'll watch yourself spiral downhill. You'll watch a guy, someone like me tell me, if you come to me, Percy and Bukey, little man, I'll tell you I can't do anything with you. There's no advice I can give you from a practical point of view. You've made your bed, I'll tell you that. Now you have to lie in it. It's as simple as that. There may be some sedative advice, some balms you can put on it to feel a little bit better. But remember, if you have not developed your mind and your body, you should feel guilty. You should be embarrassed. And if you relied on a hero figure to inspire you, if you relied on pithy sayings, a stitch in time saves the nine. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That type of a thing. It's easy to give that advice by pithy sayings, advice by accolades and phony encouragements and implorements. And admonishment. I admonish you to do this. When I admonish a man, I take into no consideration whether this man on an individual basis has the capacity to do what I'm admonishing to do. It's easy for me to give the advice. When a bully inside you, push back on him. Take it to the street. Start your fight aggressively. This is easy advice, and it's the right advice. But my man can't do that. He's a small man. He's scared. He's intimidatable. He has no brute power in his body. And he is a visual patsy. Easy to put in pillory. Easy to blame this man for everything. And wash your filthy hands. That's why I say, if a man says something again, take me to that man and I'll represent myself. I don't need somebody else to represent me. You have to reach that point where you can say, I don't need anybody to represent me. I'll represent myself. I know how to do it, and I will do it against anybody. Why? Because I don't want anything from anybody. I came with nothing, and I leave the same way, and I have no regrets. I am, in that sense, a rock and an island. I'll handle it myself or it won't get handled. If you want somebody else to handle it, you're going to have to pay him a lot of money to do it, and then he won't be able. You won't like the results you're going to get. Nobody can give you the time gratis. And even if they gave you the time, you're talking to a fool. He doesn't know your situation on an individual basis better than you do. And if you give him deceptive facts to work with, you're going to get deceptive advice. Garbage in, garbage out. Everybody likes to give advice to what they call the downtrodden, a down and outer. Hey, It's teacher-student. The teacher is superior to the bullshit. Teacher not superior to the student. Student's job is to get rid of the teacher, not to need the teacher anymore. The goal is to become more and more self-sufficient, more and more self-sustaining, more and more self-motivating. If I need a pep talk, I can give myself the pep talk. And the premise here is don't need me. Make it so you don't need me. You have to know how to circulate and fight for your answers out there in the environment of encounter and confrontation in the arena. You have to train yourself and prepare yourself to the point to where you are literally fearless. I've got a fearless customer here. My man's fearless. He's not afraid of nothing. When I hear that, this is a man I can work with, no matter what the height is. But he must have power in his body. Brute strength. Brute strength comes first. He needs speed. He needs balance. He needs agility. And he needs a very tough mind that can critically think and evaluate. And he needs a powerful, indomitable sense of self-responsibility and self-motivation. How else can it be? Anything other than that, I just made it up to make you feel good. How else can it be, if you think about it deeply? Only now exists. The only reality is now and the immediate. The only power is what you say and do now. That determines the potential for your future tomorrow. There are no tomorrows. Tomorrow is today. Tomorrow is this moment. And tomorrow is made up of the impetus of moments and moments by moment in the now. Cumulative effect of that, which then becomes the past, which then you can look at as an inspiration or as an indictment. Either way, you determine whether what you do in the now that goes into the past will be an inspiration or an indictment when you study it and prosecute it very, very carefully.